Welcome back, guys. My name is Charlie Thompson and I'm bringing you guys another pyro tutorial. In the last tutorial we did the shading for the back of the launcher pyro effect. What we're going to do today is actually the front, where the missile slash rocket, whatever you want to call it, is coming out. So let's get into this. First of all, you want to open up Houdini from where we left off. You then want to import your rocket that you created with Matt, and you just want to import it in. I basically just did a really quick animation of it spinning as well as moving out of the rocket. Next thing to do is create an emitter from this rocket. So if I just hide the launcher for a second, so we want the back of it. So if we zoom in and we go onto the rocket node, where the file is, if we come up here, if you haven't got this like 4 squares but one is only highlighted in yellow, just hold down and then go down to primitives. So you just want to highlight this little bit of section, make sure you got it all, so just like that, and all I want you guys to do is just press delete, and don't be aware it has got rid of it, but what you got to do is you got to come up here to delete non-selected, and there you go, it appears. It also gets rid of all the rest of it, but that doesn't matter just yet. So what we want to do is you want to quickly add in a null. Start that in there. Rename it to out emit. Okay. And you want to quickly go back to viewing this. Just leave all this. Just go back to viewing the actual import of the rocket. Now, what we want to do is we want to add in a file node. I'm just going to put it into here. You want to go inside here, and you want to just delete that. And press tab, open up an object merge. Click that in there, and click this little icon over here, guys. And you basically want to find that null that we just created. So out emit right there. And as you'll see, nothing happens yet, but if you come down to transform and just put it into this object, it'll appear like that. So say if I get rid of the rocket now, it'll just show that. If we get rid of the file, it just show all the rocket as well. So just be like default. If we rename this to emitter, okay. Yeah, so we'll leave it like that. If we zoom out real quick, so it's still animated. We've only just taken it out and made it into its own group, should I say. What we want to do is we want to quickly just make the launcher and the rocket static object. So you can choose to select both of them and just click static object, let it load, it's loaded. If you don't think it's loaded correctly, you can double check by going to the Pyro Sim, press L just to reorganize everything. Just make sure you're on frame 1. So there they are, they're both at the top, which is what we wanted. If you come down back to the object scene and click on the emitter, come up to Pyro, and this time we want to get the smoke trail, so go ahead and click on that. Just let it load in, and there we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do at the moment, it's brought us into this. Don't worry about this too much, guys. Just go back onto the object scene. Just want to hide the launcher, so we got a better view of the pyro effect as well as the rocket coming out as well. So what we want to do is you want to come into the Pyro Sim. Just going to quickly mess around with the settings of the static object. So if you just click on the launcher Just accidentally frozen it. So let me zoom in, get rid of that. Okay. Come down to collisions, and what I tend to do is use the surface, and if you want to just check that, you can click on surface here, just disable the geometry, and then click it, show the radius. That's what it will look like, and that's what we want. So leave it with that. We'll do exactly the same for this one. Surface, and that's it for that. So let's zoom out. Let's come down to the pyro nodes for this effect we're doing today. So if you come on to pyro, division size, what we're going to do is we're going to round it down to 0.01, leave it at that, and we're going to do exactly what we did in the last tutorial for the container, so 0.5 I believe it was, and for the max bounds to change it from ticked to unticked. So these two nodes are complete now. We want to come onto the pyro solver. Buoyancy, I found that doing 0.5, oh, not comma, was the best I got. That was doing a lot of tests as well, so I found that was the best. It's up to you, depending on the size of your scene, you might want to change it. Just do a load of little tests, see what's best for you, basically. If you go into shape, distortion, we want to get rid of, so say if it was up here, we don't want it to be high because we don't want it to disappear quickly, but to have it low, I would say around about 0.05 should be good. This basically adds more detail to the smoke and fire without actually changing the shape of the simulation, as it just says there. If you just hover over the word, it will show up what it actually is. And we want a bit of detail, so I'm just going to change this to 0.1. Then I'm going to leave the turbulence here. I'm going to change it to 3. I'm going to come down to turbulence here, and for the swirl I'm going to change it to 0.5. We'll leave the turbulence down here as well and all the rest of the settings. If you want to just jump out of that real quick, just going to reorganize my station here. Just highlight these, hold down A and drag down. Let's move that down there. There we go. Okay. So what I'm going to do quickly is just sim this out to around about frame 30, and I'll be back to you guys when it's done. Okay guys, so let it sim out for a while. Got to frame 26. It did actually take quite a bit of time, but I think at the moment it looks very, very good. I think it's the way we want it to look. If you want more swirls in this, then you just go back to the turbulence section on the pyro solver and just change this up, change the size of it, add more in there. It's totally up to you. I recommend just going around and just experimenting a little bit. Get what you want the most, what you want the pyro to actually look like. At the moment I'm pretty happy with how this has come out now, so I'm going to go and sim it out. So what you want to do is do exactly what we did with the last tutorial, the first one, with the simming out the pyro. So you want to come to this node in the pyro import. Just let my computer load because it seems to be very, very slow at the minute. Anyway, what you want to do is you want to save it to wherever you want it. So I'm just going to save this real quickly to my tutorial folder. Let's call it Sim2. Enter. Rocket Sim. Save. Just come over to save to file, and it'll come up with this, and you want to get rid of what the channel is already. So if you come over to here and you just come down to delete channel, we want it from, let's say, frame 20 to frame 36, I reckon. Yep, so what you want to do is you just want to save this out to disk. I'll be back with you as soon as this is done. Okay guys, so it's now simmed out from frame 20 to frame 36. Now what we want to do is do the time shift again. So if you press tab, type in time shift, just let it load real quickly. What we want to do before we put in any time or change this, we'll actually go to here, we want to view it. Just let it load. And then you want to tick load from disk. And press it. Okay, it's taking its time. Computer seems to be very, very slow today, guys. I'm sorry for that. Well, okay, so I did tick it and then I've now unticked it. There you go. Okay. So we got it from frame 20 to 26, so it will only show the frames in between this. So at the moment we got frame 26. I think I might go a bit higher, so like around about 34, maybe, possibly, or 35. I think we might stick with 35 actually, because I want a bit more of a trail away from the rocket launcher itself. Just give it that bit distance. So when my computer starts to work again, I'm going to view this time shift. If I just click on it first, click on it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to frame, and I'm going to right click and delete the channel. So it will only stay on frame 35, which is what I want. You guys can go through the sim that you've just done from frame 20 to 36 and see which one's the best for you. You can change this number to that frame. Let's just hurry up. Okay, I'm just going to right click in here and it's going to load again. Alright, I'll be back with you guys when this is done. Okay guys, so I've just gone into frame, I've right clicked and I've deleted the channels, and I typed in the frame that I wanted, which was 35. I've then gone and viewed the time shift. So now that's all done. Go back onto object scene, you can then zoom out. I'm just going to unview this one as well. So that's out of the way. Got this. The simulation's all done. I'm just going to quickly give you a preview of what that looks like. If it wants to load for us, and it seems to be doing a lot of other stuff then. So at the moment you can't really see it very well. It's just faint at the back there. But you should be able to see it more in the next tutorial, which will be the texturing within the render view. So I'll see you guys in the next one.